When she was told that there is a man who invites you to Islam, she sent him a bribe. She sent him gifts. He said, is she serious? She's trying to bribe me with gifts? I'm a prophet of God, and I have half the world, because half the world belonged to him, and half the world belonged to her. So when she saw that he wasn't taken by the gift, she traveled all the way to his palace. Now, of course, he did two things. The first thing he did was ask from his people, who will bring me the Queen of Sheba's throne without the blinking of the eye? So one of the jinn said, I'll bring it. Asif bin Barkhia said, I can bring it without the blinking of the eye. As soon as he returned, as soon as she entered, she sees her throne. Imagine you travel all the way from, let's just say, from Australia to London. You have a chair within your room at home. Imagine you reach your cousin's house and you see that chair there. You'd be asking, how quickly did it get here? Yet imagine by the time you've reached Sulaiman, you see your throne is right in front of you. The beauty of her line is that she says, that looks like my throne. She's truly a royal lady. She doesn't admit it straight away. She says, it looks like my throne. But the beauty about what made her convert was the delicacy of Sulaiman's palace. Why? When she walked into his palace, she saw that he had a particular line or corridor within his palace where there was water. And so when she was walking across this, she had to lift her dress, because she doesn't want her dress to become wet. Yet when she started walking, she realized that that wasn't water. There was glass, fine glass on top of the water. But the glass was so fine that you couldn't tell it was there. So she said, if the palace of Sulaiman is so great that it deceives the eyes of the Queen of Sheba, then how great is the Lord of Sulaiman? So she came towards the religion of Islam through his inheritance. There was an inheritance left behind by Dawood to Sulaiman. Fatima al-Zahra used Zakaria and Yahya. She then said, وَوَارِثَ سُلَيْمَانَ Dawood. She then used the verse in the Quran, وَأُولِي الْأَرْحَامِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلَى بِبَعْضٍ فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. The verse where? In Surah 2, verse 180 in the Quran. Sorry, in Surah 2, in Surah 8, verse 75 in the Quran. That's what? That your closest relatives have more rights than others when it comes to the inheritance. Then which verse did she use? She went on to use the verse in the Quran, يُوصِيكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي أَوْلَادِكُمْ لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enjoins you in regard to your children. To the male, there is the share of 2 females. Yes? The idea is that the females have the 2 portions of the male. Sometimes people come and ask, why is this? Why is it that the female share is half of that of the male? Ibn Abi al-Awja once entered the vicinity of Imam al-Sadiq, and he asked him the question. He asked him the question, why is it that it's the 2 shares against the 1? Imam said the reason is, number 1, the female does not have to undertake a military expedition. The male does. Number 2, the male has a responsibility of maintaining the household. There is an obligation on him to spend on the household. Number 3, the female receives dowry from the male. Ayatollah Nasr Makarim Shirazi, may Allah bless him and give him a long life. He writes within Tafsir al-Amthal, he gives a nice example, and ulama mentioned this example, that if we were to say that I get 20 million of the inheritance, 20 million, inshallah, and you have here, she gets, for example, let's just say 10 million, the amount that I have to spend at the beginning anyway on dowry means she'll be on 20, I'll be on 10 from the beginning. So here you find that she ends up with 2 shares against the 1 share of the male. The point here was she used this verse as well. Then she says, she uses the verse in Surah 2, verse 180. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدُكُمُ الْمَوْتِ إِنْ تَرَكَ خَيْرًا الْوَصِيَّةُ لِلْوَالِدَيْنِ وَالْأَقْرَبِينَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. It is made incumbent upon you. And when a verse begins, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمْ, it also addresses Rasulullah. Not only us. It addresses Rasulullah as well. For example, when the verse says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Does that mean that it addresses us but not Rasulullah? No. Rasulullah is included as well. Rasulullah has to fast in Ramadan in the same way we have to fast. In the same way in this verse, كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خيرا الوصية للوالدين والأقربين means what? It is written and it is made incumbent upon you that when you come towards your moment of death, that you write a wasiyah regarding who inherits what. Are you telling me that every Muslim is able to write a wasiyah, but Rasulullah does not write a wasiyah for his daughter? The Quran made it incumbent. She then continued. She said, oh Abu Bakr, the first Khalifa, you claim that I have no share and that I cannot inherit my father. Listen to her words for those who are uncertain about who we love and hate in Islam. She says, you claim that I have no share and that I do not inherit from my father. Was there a verse revealed about you in the Quran which excluded my father? Or is it that you say that me and my father are of different faiths, that we can't inherit each other? Did you not see us adhere to the religion of Islam? Or is it that you know more about the generals and the specifics of the Quran than my father and my cousin? You know more than Rasulullah and Ali ibn Abi Talib about the generals and specifics of the laws of the Quran? Then what does she say to him? She says, take it. Ready it is with its nose roped and saddled. But she says the beauty of it is what? Is that it will come back to encounter you on the day of judgment. And she said how wonderful that day is when Allah is the judge and Muhammad is the claimant, and the day of rising everything is revealed. She said tomorrow on the day of judgment there will be no time, for the wrongdoers will have lost. Who's she talking about? What else do you want? I said, where shall I go after that? The wrongdoers will have lost. And what else? She says, there will be no time for you to regret your actions. Now listen to the line which damns it. What does she say? She says, on that day, the oppressors will be humiliated and you will be given eternal punishment. Tabarra begins where? Me? Or you? Tabarra began with her. In that khutbah of Fadak, Ayatollah Najafi Mar'ashi says, I once saw Imam Sahib al-Asr al-Zaman. And he said to me, tell our Shia that it is a responsibility on them that when they call themselves Shia, one of the conditions is that they've learned the whole khutbah of Fadak of Fatima. The problem with the word Shia is that everyone's taken it. Salman, Abu Bakr, Maqdad, Ammar, those were Shia. We're trying to be Shia. One of the things you learn, khutbah of Fadak. Another, learn Ziyarat Ashura. Another, learn the khutbah Shaqshaqiyya and Nahj al-Balagha. Shaqshaqiyya number 3. Why? Why would the 12th Imam tell the Ayatollah to learn number 3? Because sermon 3 of Nahj al-Balagha is when Ali ibn Abi Talib's Tabarra comes out. He stole it, and then he stole it, and then they made me one of 6 for the 3rd Khalifa. You've stolen this is my authority. You've stolen. And they tell us, why do you do Tabarra? It's not me who makes the decision. If my grandmother and my grandfather are the ones who are doing it themselves, we follow them. Therefore the question arose back towards the Khalifa, and it was this. It was that if you are buried next to Rasulullah, then this comes from your share of inheritance of your daughter. How is it that you're buried next to Rasulullah? Because your daughter inherited that part of the room from Rasulullah. But I thought Rasulullah doesn't leave behind inheritance. That's why Abu Hanifa, on one occasion, had the students of the 6th Imam enter into his class. He was sitting down, and he happened to be discussing where the 1st Khalifa is buried in Medina. The students of the 6th Imam came up to him and they said to him, we'd like to ask you a question. I thought you said prophets don't leave behind inheritance.